Alright, I'm Red Beard the Hippy here with Simple Stone, based out of Australia, which is the first online interview from overseas that I've been able to do. So this is actually kind of cool.
Nice.
So, well, we'll just go with what's the music scene like over in Australia, and how many places are there to really play?
Yeah, dude, there's heaps. I mean, we're in Sydney, so we're in one of the major metropolitan areas, like in Australia. So there's plenty of venues. I'd say the scene is pretty healthy. It was a bit quiet pre-COVID. So a few years ago, like the live scene was kind of, I think it was struggling. It was dying off a little bit. But I think on the back of that happening and how it was handled here in Australia, and then sort of once everything was opening back up again, everyone was so keen to sort of get back out and sort of, live life and experience stuff again because everyone had been sort of locked away. The live scene kind of got revitalized, and venues were keen to get live music and live bands back in, and a lot of local councils and governments and whatever, I think, were putting out grant money, letting venues, redevelop, put stages in, having them so they can put in PA systems, get bands in. So I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's still a bit of a grind, like it'd be nice if one day we woke up and all the cover bands had sort of decided just to play original, material. But no shade on them. You got to do what you got to do. It's one of the ways you can make money as independent muso. So that is what it is. But yeah, on the whole, I think it's not going too badly. It's not going too badly.
So, obviously, I like listening to a large variety of music and finding different things. So, like, I'm kind of fascinated with the scene over there. So, hensing the first
Mm.
question, how long have you guys been together as Simple Stone?
So I should say, so I'm Shanks. I'm the bassist with Simple Stone. We're a three-piece. So the people that aren't here at the moment are Matt, who plays guitar and sings, and Bowie, who's on the drums. Matt's actually Simple Stone is essentially Matt's band. It came out of his head. I think it's been around as a thing, kind of technically, for maybe 20 years. There was a little bit of a hiatus. Yeah, yeah. I think he took a bit of a break for a few years, and he got back into it sort of with a bit of a vengeance, kind of 2015, 2016. I think had a lot of material that he just came out and started writing. So he dropped his first full length album, which was called Chronicles of a Faded Heart. That came out 2017. I joined the band kind of at the back end of that being toured. And that was kind of late 2018, I think. So I've been with the band for, what's that, eight years or something?
Uh,
Eight-ish,
yeah.
8, 9. Yeah, so it's been a while. So I jumped on board. So I was there in time for us to do our second album, Through This Dark, which we released in January of 2023. That was a COVID album, so that took a little while to come to fruition. Like that's we were recording that. We were writing and recording that while that was all happening. So that took a couple of years to sort of do, from start to finish. And we're about to release our third album, titled Nine. That's coming out January 30 next year. So just over a month's time. I've totally forgot what the question was, but yeah, basically Civil
No,
Stone's
that
been a
that kind of
band
gave
for a
a
while.
cool backstory to
Yeah,
everything too.
yeah. It's been a band for a while. It's been in its current form as like a three-piece probably since 2016, 2017, and I jumped on, yeah, like 2018. So yeah, yeah,
So with the third album being, is it the number nine, or
yeah. So
does it have a certain meaning behind it?
I don't have any art I can show you on hand. It does have a meaning. So the title is Nine, as in the word nine. Um, I can't remember what the basically it doesn't have 9 songs on it. It's got 10 songs on it. Um, it had 9 songs for a while, and then Matt went and wrote another one after we'd almost finished the whole thing, and we had to record that as well. So it's got 10 songs on it. But yeah, the original kind of, I guess the original concept was that we ended up with 9 tracks. It was actually only going to be maybe an EP. We had like 4 or 5 things, and we were going to get in and record and maybe do an EP. And then I had a few ideas swimming around that I fleshed out, and I brought a few things to the table, and we ended up having 9 tracks. And on the back of going to Japan at the end of last year, which we had a little run of shows in Japan at the end of 24. And I was thinking about conceptual stuff, and I figured out that the symbol, the kanji for the number 9 in Japanese also translates to like suffering. So we were getting kind of meta about that, and so it ended up because on the CD art of the new album and vinyl when that happens is the kanji for 9, the number 9.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so it's kind of, that was the concept. It was like, I don't know, it was a commentary on just, what we do. It's just a constant grind, it's all, and some of the subject matter of what we write about. So that kind of worked, it was like 9 and the kanji for 9, and yeah. And so if we'd have only had 9 songs, it would have been a whole symmetry, but we'd actually finished. We were in post-production, and then Matt wrote another song, and it was a banger. So we were like, okay, we have to put it on there. So originally we toyed with the idea of having a hidden track, like at the end of it. So only having 9 title tracks and then a hidden track, but it was too good not to actually point it out. So yeah.
Or have 12 tracks on there, but skip over the number 9.
Yeah. And also we were like, look, it's not as good as Pearl Jam's 10, but it's pretty good, so we'll just call it 9. Because there was room for improvement, I guess.
Well, and plus 9 is before 10, so that means your album's better than theirs on the listing scale. So
that's it.
that might sound a little bad. That might piss off a few Pearl Jam fans. So let's see. Japan. What was touring in that area like, and how many dates did you guys do over there, and were you able to like see anything, or was it like venue, next venue, next venue, out?
Yeah, it was a little bit like that. I organized to stay another week afterwards. So my girl came over once, so we did the tour. So basically it was 5 shows like back to back. So we flew in, we had a day, and then on the second day it was the first show in Tokyo, and we did sort of a first night in Tokyo, second night in Tokyo, and then we jumped on the bullet train and we went out to, I can't remember quite what the order was, but we did 2 in Tokyo, and we did a show in Osaka, and we did a show in Kyoto, I think, Kobe, and no, Kobe was Kobe the end. Yeah, it was Osaka, Fukuyama, I think. I'm not butchering this, and Kobe. So it was 2 shows in Tokyo and then 3 shows in 3 other cities. So it was kind of apart from the 2 shows in Tokyo, it was basically it was play the show, go back to the hotel, next day get up, jump on the train, go to the next city, go to the venue, set up, dump your bags at the hotel, go back to the venue, play the gig, go to the hotel, next day, go to the train station, repeat. So we didn't see a lot because we were essentially just, it was sort of on the train, at the venue, in the hotel, kind of in those cities. So we didn't have a lot of time to take it all in. So that's why the guys, Matt and Bowie, stayed a couple of days after and then flew back. So they we went back to Tokyo at the end of it. And I was there a week because my girl came over, so we wandered around. But in hindsight, if I did that again, we'd probably have the week first because I was cooked at the end of those shows. Like my feet were killing me, and the last thing I wanted to do was just wander around,
Oh, I bet.
But I made the effort, and there was plenty to see in Tokyo, so we didn't travel outside of Tokyo for the second week. We just sort of traveled about, and yeah, it was cool. It was really cool. I'd spent a year there. When was it? Almost 20 years ago. Teaching English. A lot of people go over there and teach English. A lot of people from the States do it. So I'd kind of, I'd been there. It was cool, and I'd experienced it. So it was, it had been 20 years, but it hadn't changed that much. It was really, really cool.
That would kind of explain some of the tattoos that you have on the arm there. Then,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
so that's kind of an interesting story because like I'm looking at the tattoo and then all of a sudden you're saying the story and it's like okay, I see some tie-ins there.
yeah. So it's great, man. We loved it. The crowds were awesome. The bands, like the bands we played with, the Japanese bands were just incredible. We got to play. There was another Aussie band over there called Speedball. They're a Sydney band, and they'd been over in China playing a few shows, and then they finished that off by playing 3 shows in Japan. So the back end of our shows in Japan, we played with them as well. So that was cool to sort of have another Aussie band there on the last couple of dates. But yeah, man, it was a great time. So we're planning to go back, potentially even this year. We might be there. Oh, sorry, in the new year, 2026.
Yeah, we're close enough to 2026.
Yeah,
Unless
yeah,
we'll
yeah,
say
yeah,
anything in the this year, we're gonna go ahead and rack up into 2026 as well.
yeah, yeah. So hopefully we'll get there again soon. If it's not in the new year, it's the year after for sure. But hopefully, it'd be nice if we get back there next year.
And is the bullet train as fast as the movies portray it to be, or can you really
Yes.
tell, or can you tell while you're on it?
Uh, yeah, no, you don't really feel it. Yeah, you don't really feel it while you're on there, but yeah, man, they move. They really do move, and they're impressive when you're in the station and you see them come in, like because they're very they're swept up in all aerodynamic, and yeah, it's very cool. I think if you're close enough to the doors when you're getting in there, you do feel it seal. Like I guess they're kind of maybe a tiny bit pressurized,
I
like an airplane.
I,
Yeah.
I have no idea. They just it's always interesting to ask people who have been on the things because I obviously haven't experienced one. So
Yeah. Oh, it's yeah, everything whips by pretty quickly. And they're pretty tight on their timetables. You got to be there when they're going to go, or you miss it. You can't screw about.
oh, I bet. And this is the amount of time get your butt on the train.
Yeah, but it's all it's very well organized. They've got all the areas marked out where you stand on the carriage, so you know which carriage you're going into, and then just sort of line up with your gear. And because they only stop for a few minutes, like when they come into the stations, they're not there for long. So basically, they come in, the doors open, people get out, and you're ready to go in. You just get in there and you're away. So if you're off having a smoke or taking a piss, you're not paying attention, you're gonna miss it.
And
So
that
yeah.
would suck.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, but the guys we went over with Paranormal Activities is the company, and basically all they do is organize tours for bands to go over. So we had like tour managers with us. So we had a guy in Tokyo for the 2 shows, and then when we traveled out, we had a different guy, and he traveled with us. So they're kind of there to wrangle the bands, make sure that we're where we need to be, and yeah.
so is that the farthest you guys have traveled, or has there been?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that was our breaking our cherry as far as traveling out of the country to tour. So it was an experience, man, because a rite of passage to sort of to do that. But it was great, and I want us to do more of it. So as I said, we're planning to go back, and we're also like we were talking before we went live. We're also hopefully coming out to the States in August of 26. That's on the cards. We're working with Curtin Call Records to maybe come over for a couple of weeks, probably play maybe 10 shows in that period of time. And it sounds like maybe we're going to bookend that with some sort of bike festivals, like maybe Sturgis Festival, play a couple of shows there, and then travel. I don't know where, but travel somewhere and end at another festival. But in the meantime, we'll play a few. We'll get in a van, I guess, and play some shows along the way. So yeah, that'll be very cool.
Yeah, that'd be one of those. Depending where you're at, make sure you got your cameras and whatever.
Yeah,
Because I know some of the bands that from different areas that have come through, they made it a point to like we're gonna stop here, we're gonna stop here, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna like they still put on a hell of a show, but like they made sure they enjoyed the scenery as well.
yeah, yeah. It's that balance of like documenting, the trip and having that footage and all that cool stuff you can use for socials and whatever, but also just, being able to experience it, like sort of just being present. So, you can usually tell who the member of the band is. It's always filming, taking pictures because they're the one that you never see. It's always just the other guys. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, my family will go do stuff and I'll disappear and they're like, "Where did you go?" I'm like, "Camera."
Yeah. We with the Japan trip, we took a bunch of footage, traveling and some footage of the gigs and whatever, and we ripped out I think it was before we left for Japan, but we ripped out a cover of "Rockin' in the Free World" by Neil Young.
Okay.
Just sort of in between albums, we occasionally do some covers just to keep in the studio and keep sharp and drop something out there. So when we got back, we made like a tour video to that track.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
and it kind of worked. It kind of worked with the vibe of the song. It was cool. So yeah, so that was something that came out of the trip, which was cool.
One, it's also like when you're doing stuff that isn't so much in per se genres that you're doing, where it's outside the realm. And then, did you guys cover it the way that it's written, or did you guys take some liberties and put your own twist on it?
Yeah, we put our own little brand on a little bit. I don't know if we changed the riff particularly fundamentally, but yeah, I think we might have sped it up a tiny bit, and we just did our version of it, Like if we do a cover, that's what we do. We've only released maybe 3 covers. We released a couple of years back. We released "Alone with You," which is by an Australian band called the Sunny Boys. You might not be familiar with it. We released that, and then we did "Rockin' in the Free World," obviously, and we did a cover of "Dead or Alive" by Bon Jovi, and that was very much our version of that track. A bit punky, and I actually really dig that as a song. Actually, like I think we did a good job of that one.
Well, that's the other cool thing about, like, if you're gonna do a cover song, like, rather than doing it exactly the way that it's already been doing, putting your own little spin and twist.
Yeah.
I would rather see a band do a cover song and make it their own than a song.
Just copy it exactly. Yeah, I know, because you want it to, you put your own sort of stamp on it. I think the timing with that worked really well. I think that wasn't long after Alex, drummer, joined us, so that was an exercise, in bringing us together, getting him in the studio, and just getting him used to how we work when we're recording, and so it was it's just a good thing to do. As I said, in between our own releases, is keep them busy.
Well, and then it's also like, obviously with you guys have been around for long enough, the shift in everything from being a regular band to now you have to do all the social media stuff and keep up with social media stuff, which
it's a full-time job in itself, man.
Oh yeah, like I have a regular job and I get in more trouble because I'm on my phone doing stuff for this stuff than, because they'll catch me and they're like, "No phone policy." Yeah, I know, but this is for my fun job. And that confuses them for a bit because they're like, "How is this not fun?" Look, I talk to bands and I go to shows and I do all kinds of other stuff that's way more fun than hanging out and watching a machine cut metal. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm lucky enough with my job. I work in IT and tech, so I'll sit behind a computer. So I'm lucky enough that I'm kind of autonomous enough. I'm left to my own devices enough that I can do a lot of the band admin stuff in the back end. During work hours. Hopefully, no one from my work is watching this.
But it's only when he's on breaks or in the bathroom.
That's it. That's why I don't take lunch ever. Yeah, it's handy, man. It's handy, but yeah, there's so much to it. Just trying to keep on top of it. Just trying to consistently put things out there, and when you do post something, you've got to post it, on several platforms. Even if no one looks at it, you still throw it out there. But
well, and okay, I know. Do you guys use Facebook as a tool to for upcoming shows of inviting people to it and trying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you, uh,
Like events and that sort of thing.
yeah,
You create an event and
if you post like a reel or a short or something like that, does that get more interaction involvement than like, hey, we have a show coming up?
yeah, our reels actually do it right. They consistently, like I guess over the last 12 months or something, yeah, we get some interactions. So that's certainly the best way to announce gigs. Like, like on Facebook, yeah, we can create an event and share that. But then generally you want to be throwing out a reel on Instagram and Facebook, and TikTok and all that stuff. And then that's what's actually advertising the gig and getting eyes on it. And then you're just sharing it around. All the bands are sharing it around. Yeah.
Let's see. One of the fun questions that I like to ask: have you been able to have the opportunity to do any shows with any of your idols or your musical influences?
Oh, we got someone coming in. That's fine. My girlfriend just walking in. Um, I'd say not yet. I mean, in saying that, we've played with a lot of really, talented bands, and there's a lot of cool people in the scene here in Sydney. A lot of bands that we've networked with, some incredibly talented people. I'll name some names later on when I can think of some. But yeah, no, not really. Yeah, I guess the answer to that is no. we just pretty much just play with the other bands that are in the scene, other independent bands. Yeah, my idols are all dead, man. Freddie Mercury's dead, Prince is dead,
Oh,
Chris Cornell's dead. You know, yeah, there's many there.
that's kind of the downfall about like you can see in the color of the hair that we've been around a little while, and unfortunately, yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of the greats have passed like that.
yeah, yeah. There's still enough of them about, but
Well, the new question: have you
yeah.
been able to see any of them live?
Unfortunately, I never got to see Prince live. I very almost nearly did. I was working in London a few years back, and he played some surprise shows at a venue that I knew of, and I wasn't too far away from, but I didn't realize until after the fact. So I missed him.
Oh,
Yeah, I've seen Queen, but not with Freddie. I've seen him with Adam. Can't think of the guy's name. I mean, I feel like saying Adam Devine, but he's
yeah,
an
no,
actor.
no, I know which one you're
But you know the
talking
guy I
about.
mean. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So I have seen Queen, and that was very cool to see Brian May and Roger Taylor, on stage doing their thing. That was very cool. I'm a big Foo Fighters fan. I've seen them a few times, so that's cool. I got to see Oasis just recently on their new run around the world, so that was cool because they were like I wouldn't say I was a massive fan of those guys when they blew up, but they were very much a part of the fabric of the scene when I was you know at uni and I was getting interested in music. So they were a picture on that wall, so it was cool to see those guys. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get to see Metallica. They just came through. I didn't get to see those guys or AC/DC. But I am a little bit more of a homebody than other
the
people.
other
So
the
you
other
know what?
downfall of the older you get, the more where it's like, do I really want to go out and
Yeah,
deal
yeah.
with
I mean,
all
I do
that?
enjoy. Yeah, I do enjoy it when I'm out. I do. Yeah, I do like to see bands playing and stuff. But kind of happens mostly, I guess, when I'm out and about doing it as well. So that's why I always like to stay. If we're playing a show with other bands, I always like to stay and watch everybody play. It's cool.
Yeah, that's well, and it's also just kind of showing a support for all the other acts because if everybody's there for the first band till the last band, it kind of shows more of a support and a unity among the musicians versus. But we all understand that people have lives, and sometimes it's like, hey, we had to open. I had to open. I got to be to work at
Yeah, yeah.
early in the
Sometimes,
morning,
yeah,
like 2:30 in the morning. So we had to open. I gotta get out of here, but the rest of the guys are
yeah,
gonna stay for the night. Like we understand that.
yeah, yeah. It's not always practical, but yeah, if and when I can, I usually do. Yeah.
How many shows do you guys do a year?
I have no idea. I'd have to look. It changes. I don't know how many shows we did this year. Initially, we were thinking this year was going to be a bit quieter. I think maybe because we were finishing the album. But the back end of the year, we actually pulled in a few gigs and played some shows. So, I mean, if I had my way, I'd play every weekend because I really enjoy it. I went through a phase. I'm not so bad now. I went through a phase at one point. I think I was a member of about 7 different bands, and the theory behind that was just literally, oh, okay, well, if these guys aren't doing something, these guys might be, and it was just kind of, I just wanted to
You just wanted to
give
play.
myself the opportunity. Yeah, I just wanted to give myself a chance to play as often as I could. But in the end, you end up being in 7 bands that aren't doing anything, unless you're all trying to move the needle. So yeah, I've pared down my activity a lot more.
Well, and
But
then you can only do
yeah,
so much at a certain point in time where it gets to be
yeah,
too much of being in. Okay, you got bands practice at this time, this time, this time, this time, this time, this time, and this time. So all you're doing is driving around hauling gear everywhere.
yeah. And then if there's any clashes, you've got to prioritize things. So I was lucky enough that was never really a problem. But I tended to try and take the helm a little bit and so I was organizing things so that I could avoid conflicts.
Well, yeah,
But
that does kind of make it a little bit easier than.
yeah,
So yeah, that's crap. I just drew a blank. Okay. With being in Sydney, do you guys get out to the other areas or the provinces
yeah,
out
like
there?
regional areas, like country areas. Yeah. Probably a bit less of that this year. We actually played probably a lot more in and around Sydney this year than we had in the last couple of years. There was a bit more of a concerted effort in probably the last 2 years prior to do more regional shows. So like we play in Melbourne, so drive down south to Melbourne, Canberra, drive north, play in the New England area, sort of Armidale, Dubbo, Tamworth, go out west, Orange. So yeah. It's always good to play the regional shows. They're generally happy to have bands come out and play. So yeah, it's a big place. It's a weekend away. Sometimes if we're going to we're driving 7 hours to play a show and then coming back. You
Oh
know,
yeah. How long does it take to drive from one side to the other?
of
Or
Australia.
yeah, or can you?
Uh, I don't know. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know if you can go across. I think you can go around the bottom kind of thing and up and across. But I know from Sydney across to Perth. So Perth's sort of on the other side, on Western Australia. Sydney's on the east coast. I think to fly it's like 6 hours. So I don't know what that's to drive, dude. It's a long way. Like Melbourne, if we go into, we're sort of in between a couple of other major cities. Like Melbourne is to our south in Victoria, and Brisbane is to our north up in Queensland, to the bottom of Queensland. And to drive to Melbourne, it's about 10 hours, and driving up to Brisbane's about 12.
Oh geez.
Yeah,
So it's a
so
lot bigger than I thought it was.
yeah, man, it's pretty big, man. It's pretty big.
Well, and it's weird when you'll see stuff on like maps where the maps kind of distort how everything looks. So
Yeah. They kind of
like I know when
standardize
you
the
said like you
sizes.
were flying from Sydney to Perth and you're like, oh, it's a 6 hour trip. It's like, oh, that's a lot of drive time right
Yeah.
there.
That's a long way. Considering we can fly from Sydney to Japan direct, and it's maybe 8 or 9 hours.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, man. Yeah. So flying across the country out to the west, that's a long trip.
Huh. I'm learning all kinds of
Yeah.
interesting facts tonight.
Yeah, that was the advantage actually for us going to as a good reason to go to Japan. It wasn't a big trip, like it was, as I said, it's an 8 or 9 hour direct flight, and also time zone wise, because of the way they line up, it's maybe an hour either way.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's you're not jet lagged. We're basically in the same time zone.
Yeah, you're not really losing anything.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not it's not a massive trip. It's not like flying to England or to the States where you're looking at like 18, 19, 20 something hours.
Yeah.
It's a bit more of a jaunt.
Yeah, because that almost seems like
So
it's kind of like like a Friday fly up there, spend Saturday there, and then fly back Sunday.
yeah, well, I mean, the reason why Australia is a really, really popular holiday destination for Japanese people is because it's such a quick trip. And again, no real time zone difference. So they can just pop down in a day. They're here,
Yeah.
do their thing, and then go back. It's not sort of 2 days either end. Someone just
So
walked
the
in.
one kid that I sent the message to that I figured would read it was the one kid that knocked on the door.
It's all right. I didn't hear anything.
It's okay. All I see is her head peek around and. But no, that's kind of. Oh.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's a big place to yeah. It's a lot of effort. There's a band we're mates with that I've filled in and played some shows with while I was sort of in between bass players called Noble. They're a really really good band. They play a lot of regional shows, so they're away most weekends, and they've got a van and they'll drive and they're just early Saturday morning, sometimes Friday afternoon. If it's a Friday night gig, they're away and they'll play Friday night, Saturday night, come back Sunday. So they do a lot of miles.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I think the farthest I've driven is round trip is like 12. But it was 6 hours
Yeah.
there and 6 hours back. So
Yeah, and I do. Last time we went to Melbourne, it was a few months back. It was this year. We literally drove it was 9 or 10 hours. I think it's closer to 10. We drove up, played the 45-minute set, and then you drive back. So you're driving 20 hours to play the 45 minutes.
yeah.
So that's committed. That's committed.
Oh yeah, I haven't driven that far for 45 minutes, but I've heard of some bands doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. So new records coming out. Is there a
It
new
is.
single coming out or?
Yeah. So day of release is the 30th of January, 26th. So on that day, we're dropping the first single, which is called TOA. So that's going to be available digitally, like streaming. And the album itself the whole album's available physically to buy from us, like at our shows, and it's on Bandcamp. It'll be live on Bandcamp, so people can order it and we can send it out. So if you want the whole thing, you can buy it from us. But if you just want to do it digitally, you're gonna have to wait. We're gonna kind of like dribble out a few singles over the next 12 months, 8 to 12 months, and then it will be digitally available as an album towards the end of next year. But yeah, we're just going to sort of stagger releases. So the first single is the same day the album's available, and it'll be available on compact disc and also digital download through Bandcamp. So you can get the album digitally if you buy it. And we are planning to make it available on vinyl, which is pretty cool. It's going to look pretty sweet.
Are you going with just the regular black vinyl, or are you going to try to get some of those crazy pressing colors that are?
Well, we'll see. Original pressing is just going to be black. We'll see how popular it is. If it blows up, maybe we'll do something funky. But yeah, just the timing with that. We won't have the test pressings for that until early January. So yeah, they won't be available straight away. But yeah,
Well, I
that'd
noticed
be sweet.
vinyl's like really made a comeback over the last few years, where a lot of people are buying vinyl up.
Yeah. I've got a small collection, and I don't even have a player. It's just cool to have them. I don't have a record player.
I have my grandparents' old record player, and then they had a bunch of vinyls that I picked up when they condensed everything, and they're like, "We don't need these," and I'm like, "Ooh, I'll take all the vinyl." And then it's
Yeah.
like 1950s and 60s classical stuff and
Wow.
like so I think there was an Elvis album in there that kind of threw me for a loop because I didn't see them as Elvis listening
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
if that makes sense.
That was a guilty pleasure. Remember
Apparently
Elvis?
they had some pretty
Yeah,
cool
yeah.
stuff in there. It was nice kind of listening to some stuff that's out of my norm. Let's see. So we've done music. Da, 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 da. We're here trying to. We'll throw this one out because you would actually be able to answer this. Common misconception about people from Australia, or phrases that you hear in movies and stuff that you're just like, we don't say that or we don't do that.
Oh, yeah, I don't know, man. Good question. Throw a shrimp on the barbie. We don't call them shrimp. We call them prawns. Um, so yeah, that phrase is not really something we say over here.
I think they might have said that just so when people come over, you can be like, "Oh, you're a tourist. Okay, you're a tourist."
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, I get it because they need to use a term that is used. You guys know what shrimp is. If they said prawn, you'd be like, "What the fuck's a prawn?" Um,
Unless you're educated and you watched
yeah,
one
yeah,
of the first
yeah.
seasons of NCIS where he's like, they don't say shrimp, they say prawn.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Okay, is Foster's Australian for beer?
No, I'd say barely anybody in Australia drinks Foster's. Uh, the only time you don't even see it around for sale. Like it's you see it overseas. Like it was everywhere in London, and I think in England it's probably the only place I've ever drunk it. Um, it's not a big deal over here. I mean I might be wrong. Maybe there's some areas like I think it kicked off in Western Australia, so I don't know whether maybe in WA it's a bit more of a local brew. But generally, yeah, if you say Foster's, people they go fuck off. Like no, yeah,
Yeah, because for some reason that just popped into my head being a kid and remember seeing that commercial where they'd always slam it down and they're like, Foster's, it's Australian for beer.
no, yeah, no, they're lying. It's not. There's much better beer over here than Foster's.
Oh, I bet. And then, did you say it was hot piss?
No, no, I didn't. But yeah, I'm sure it's been said. I'll agree with that.
I think, don't worry, I think that's the same general consensus over here of Foster's beer. So
Yeah. Okay.
I
Cool.
was I
Cool.
was never a Foster's drink. I think I had one time because somebody was like, "Here, drink this." Okay, oh, it's free. I guess I'll finish it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. Any advice to give up and coming artists that are new?
If you haven't picked an instrument to play yet, and you're thinking what I want to be a muso, but I'm not sure what to play, I'd say play drums because good drummers they're the foundation of. You can't have a good band without a good drummer. That's where it all starts, and they're always in demand. You can if you're a talented drummer, you can name your price so to speak. You can pick and choose. It's always yeah. If you find a good drummer, you hang on to them. So that's for people kicking off, I guess, starting out. If you're a, if you've only ever really, if you're a bedroom musician and you want to get a start, just gotta take that leap. Just jump into a room with some other people and start playing because that'll changes the way you hear music, changes the way it feels, and it'll change the way you play because you have to play with and to other people, and there's a bit of back and forth in a room. So as soon as you can get to do that, do that. As far as I don't know, getting anywhere with it, it's a roll of the dice. And there's plenty of information out there on YouTube from bands that are doing it. Just I guess all you can do is just do as much as you can to educate yourself. But try not to fall into any traps of just do you. If you're doing I don't know, play what you want to play it how you want to play it. And try not to let anyone convince you that you're doing it the wrong way. If because you're not doing it the way they think you should do it. Just do you.
Fair enough. That's actually pretty good advice right there. I
Yeah.
like that one, especially the drummer part because that always does seem like it's the everybody's a vocalist or guitar player, and it's like we need a bassist and a drummer.
Yeah, man. Yeah, drummers are gold.
And like you said, and especially if they're good and talented, or they can do multiple styles or genres, and they can bend the rules, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's throw out one more question. Hardest song on the new album to write?
Oh,
Or was there
I'm just
one?
not too right. I don't know. It was an almost even split as far as writing credits. Like this one was a lot more collaborative. This album. So with the other, like Matt's got a lot of material. As I said, Simple Stone's kind of been a thing for a while. So the last couple of albums were pretty much all driven by stuff that Matt material he had that he'd been playing with. That we all worked together as a band, but it's sort of his stuff. So this album. He wrote 6 of the tracks, and I wrote 4. We kind of collabed on one of those. So there was it introduced a little bit of a new flavor, a new feel to the album because obviously the way we worked, he was so used to bringing his material in, and we worked on it. So when some of the stuff that I wrote that I was presenting to him, he kind of had to figure out how to tackle it and sort of lend his voice to it, because he's singing it, so it has to come out as us, like it's something that comes out of my head, but that was different for him, because he was always working on ideas that he generated, sort of thing. So it was maybe that's the answer. Maybe that's the answer. So I guess it was difficult, if that's the right word, for Matt from his perspective to work on stuff that hadn't originated out of his head. To make it, to put his voice to it, to make it Simple Stone. That was maybe the difficult aspect. Because the stuff I wrote kind of came easy to me actually this time around, which was cool. So it was nice to throw an idea up and go, right, let's make this us. So that was probably challenging for Matt, I think. But I think it worked out quite well. We were really happy with what we produced.
And were there ideas that like he presented or you presented where like as a whole you guys kind of went, yeah, no, we're gonna move away from this one and shelve this one because it's just not working? Or
I don't think so. Maybe, I mean, we all work on composition, and structure, and we have ideas with what are we going to do with this bridge? How are we going to come out of this, sort of thing. But I don't think there was anything that we kind of couldn't make work. Like I said, originally we were working with maybe 4 or 5 songs. It was going to be an EP, and I had a bit of one of my mates, Rob from Killing Floor, calls it a purple patch. I'm not sure where that comes from, but I had a bit of a creative period. So I came out with a bunch of tracks, and I mean, we're not using them all, so I've got a few in the back pocket maybe for the next release. But no, everything kind of just fell into place with this one.
Oh, okay. That's cool because, like, I know sometimes with bands it's obviously a challenge when you've got multiple people.
Yeah.
To bring different things in and make it work, and I know sometimes where like an idea will be there, and it's like it'll snowball, and then it just kind of sits there because nobody can figure out where the idea is supposed to go, and it's like, okay, we'll just kind of set that over there. Now what else do we got?
Yeah, no, I think we've both got actually no, there was a song, there was an idea that he threw out that I worked on and threw back, and I think that's going to turn into something. But yeah, we didn't put a lot of time into it. That might have been one that we were like, let's just leave that for now and move on. So, but yeah,
because still, like you said, you got a few ideas still in the pocket, so that might be one of those ideas where it's didn't feel right for the time, or it didn't match with everything else that you guys had writing. So you're like, okay, we'll just kind of take this and set this over here.
Yeah. But I mean, even when it's still pretty collaborative, which is good. Like even in composition, like even if I presented an idea, there were some tracks where I might have like I would have said, look, there's another verse here, but I don't know what it should be. So I've just repeated the first one. So that was open for, like Matt could come back, oh, how about, this, and if that didn't quite fit the theme that I had for the track, I'd be like, that's not quite where the feel of where I want this to be. But I could maybe work with that. I'd make some changes. How about this? And so there was that kind of collaboration. But yeah, no real big roadblocks or anything. It was good. It was good.
Oh,
Once we just started doing it, it was just it was coming out. It was flowing.
It just went.
Yeah.
That seems to be the general consensus when people get ready to write and record. It just like they'll sit down and they'll start writing, and it just some bands are just one right after another. And like we don't know what happened, but we got 12 songs now.
Yeah.
Not really sure if I got anything else on this one, but
It's all right.
this has been a great interview. I really enjoyed it, and January 30th is when the new 2026 is when the new album comes out with the brand new single
That's it. TOA.
TOA.
Yeah.
I got two of the three letters on it. But I greatly appreciate the time and doing this interview with the time difference and everything, and
Oh, it's easy for us, man. Robin.
really interesting, and hope the album does good, and we'll get this interview posted here shortly, hopefully.
Yeah, cool, man. Once you throw it up, we'll share it around, and yeah, thanks for talking to us.
Hey, no problem. I appreciate it. You guys have a great afternoon, right?
That's it, man. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. See ya.
Thanks, buddy. Bye.
Later.